All right, everybody, we got three big stories today. Number one, and this one is like really terrifying if you like play it out a few years. So the Obama administration has announced that they are starting to develop a package of sanctions that they could put on Chinese companies as a response to the sort of cyber theft problem that's been happening for a while. Basically, the Chinese government has been stealing all kinds of trade secrets from American companies and sort of passing them out on the side to Chinese companies, which are then making a lot of money off of that, which was money that the American companies were hoping to make. And so they're all going like, yo, Obama, you gotta stop these Chinese dudes stealing our shit. And he's going, well, I mean, what his plan that he's come up with is they're going to put sanctions on Chinese companies, and they got to fit one of four harms. Read the article I've posted, and you can get a list of what they are. I don't remember. But it's kind of a scary thought. I mean, tensions are escalating, especially because Xi Jinping, president of China, is coming for a state visit to the White House later this month. And for Obama to be talking tough like this right in advance of a state visit, that's some in-your-face shit. That's like, yo, let's not go to war anytime soon, you guys. So that's scary to me. On top of that, another, contributor to why everything is just sort of on edge right now. We've got a massive global slowdown that everyone's been talking about. You know what's going on. Today it's continued. Canada officially slipped into recession. They posted a contraction for the second quarter in a row, which technically fits most definitions of recession. Some people require also a rise in unemployment, which Canada has not had. Actually, over the last year, unemployment has fallen by 0.2% from 7 to 6.8. So it's a very gentle recession. I think the numbers, too, for their contractions are like 0.5 and 0.8, I want to say. Something very less than 1%. So they've seen very, very small contraction for 2 quarters in a row, which technically does put them in a recession, but not in the terrifying kind of way we're used to. Oil, over the last 3 trading days, had its biggest surge in 25 years. That was cut today as it fell. I mean, there's a lot of different prices, but roughly we're talking about a 7% fall in oil prices today. The main thing there is basically just that everyone lost the optimism they had before. There was this recalibration of the way oil production is calculated that kind of made everyone go, whoa, there's like 1 billion less barrels of oil than we thought there were. It might have only been 100 million. Again, read my article. So there's that. People are going like, oh, so Saudi Arabia, the OPEC didn't really say they were going to cut production. Before, they were like, yeah, if everyone else cuts production, we'll cut production. Everyone's like, yay, OPEC's willing to cut production. And then today they're going, wait a minute, that's actually not what they said. So oil is down, Canada's in recession, markets all over the place. All the U.S. stocks, Dow, S&P, is roughly a 3% decline, continuing the sort of pace that it's been going down at, except for the few little dead cats. And I did see one really interesting article, again, posted on my site, arguing that kind of the reason behind all this is that if you look at developed economies, they're moving very much from goods-based economies, cars, manufacturing, stuff, to service-based economies, which would be things like Uber. You always hear about like the sharing economy, but also, software, things like that, things that are not like hard produced goods. More sort of, fancy high-tech shit. That's a very loose definition of services. Go look up a better one if you're actually curious about what it means. Anyways, the point is developed economies are doing that. Developing economies, we've had this assumption that they're just going to continue on that goods path to the level that developed economies did, and then they'll maybe make the transition to services. And a lot of predictions have been based on that, right, of like growth. They've been thinking we're going to see kind of this sort of thing in like goods and manufacturing and shit like that. Whereas, in fact, what's starting to happen is before we anticipated it, we're seeing the shift into services in those developing economies, which is, as a result, meaning that they're not going to buy as much shit as we thought they were. And everyone's going, oh, damn, we were counting on that money. Shit. And that's kind of, broadly speaking, what's happening in the economy in the world right now. Finally, authorities in Hungary shut down the main train station in Budapest. There were hundreds of sort of countryless migrants from Syria, Iraq, the Middle East, where ISIS is wrecking everything, who have sort of flowed through Greece, and then they go up north along the Caucasus and trying to get to Germany, which has basically said, hey, refugees, we got you. They're going to take in about 800,000, which is by far the most open policy of anywhere on, probably the world. So everyone's trying to get there, but they're stuck in this. A lot of them are stuck in this train station in Budapest. Hungarian authorities closed it down today, basically just to clear them out and keep them out. Recently, I want to say yesterday, I'm not sure, they let a whole bunch of them get on a train to Austria, which is having its own problems. The other day, they found a truck on the side of the road with 71 decomposing bodies in it that they believe are refugees who suffocated, and then whoever was taking them was like, "Oh shit, I'm not dealing with this," and just pieced. So basically, the point is there's still a massive refugee crisis in Europe, and coming up 2 weeks, September 14th, there's going to be a big summit on how to deal with it. But for now, everyone's kind of just saying, fuck you, we can't have you cluttering up our shit. I mean, I was talking last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, about Greece and the problems they were having on the island of Kos, and now we've got all this going on in Budapest. So, bad things for the people who are already the worst off on the planet. So yeah, not a great day. I'm going to drop the index to 72. It's a big drop. Also, it's been a while since I've updated it, so it's not quite that drastic. Just pretend I'd actually been updating it for the last week. Anyways, we're down to 72. If you want more details, check out howgoodistheworld.com. For now, I leave you with nothing but depressing news and sadness. Goodbye.